Hey everyone, Kiwi Crypto Miner here. In this video we are going to be comparing the 3070 from Nvidia with the entire 6000 series. All these numbers in here that you see in this document are all tested by myself, and the wattages are measured at the wall, accurately subtracting the system idle. So these numbers are a true and accurate representation of what the cards will use at the wall. Although it is just one model of the card, and if you've got a different model or you have micron memory on one of your cards or something, then it's not quite going to compare to these numbers. Also, you can just have bad silicon lottery, and that can change the efficiency of your card as well. So I've come up with a few metrics here that I'm pretty much just going to use to compare all the cards. And they'll be down the end, but first we can have a look through the hash rate and the wattage of all these cards on all these different algorithms. So starting off with Ethash, most efficient is the 6600 at 0.62, and the cheapest in terms of dollar per megahash is the 3070. Keeping in mind that the efficiency is more relevant to if you've already bought the card and you're thinking about profitability, whether you're going to be profitable, especially in times where you're in a low profitability bear market type of thing for crypto. And dollar per megahash is going to be much more relevant in a bull market time, and specifically when you're looking at buying cards. So yeah, depending on where you are at the moment, will depend. Like if you're looking at buying cards, you'll want to look at the dollar per megahash. If you're looking at the efficiency of cards you already have, yeah, efficiency is going to be much more important. Next on to Ravencoin or Kapow algorithm. Most efficient 6700 XT. Best dollar per megahash is the 3070. But also the worst on efficiency, same for ETH hash or ETC hash. The least efficient on both of them is the 3070, but pretty much the highest hash rate on both is the 3070 as well. So has a decent hash rate, but although it's considered the most efficient of the 30 series, it's still not efficient compared to the 6000 series. Like significant margin on Ethereum and on Ravencoin. But when we get into these next two, so Flux and Ergo, you'll see that the 3070 is the most efficient card and the most cheapest in terms of dollar per megahash. So that's pretty interesting. These two are kind of well known as being the Nvidia algorithms, Flux and Ergo. It's just always has been better on Nvidia, and we haven't quite caught up in terms of efficiency or hash rate for the 6000 series cards. Onto the next few algorithms. So we've got Kryptonite GPU, most efficient 6600 XT. Cheapest dollar per megahash is the 6600, and the 3070 is pretty much mid-range, like run-of-the-mill, not doing too great, not doing too poorly. On the Kryptonite GPU, Cortex, most efficient is the 6600 XT, and least efficient 3070, and best dollar per megahash is the 3070. So you're kind of starting to see a trend that the 3070 is pretty good value for the megahash. So in a bull market, you'd be definitely looking at the right card if you're looking at a 3070. But in a bear market, like when profitability is low, probably going to be looking towards the 6000 series cards, or if you're predicting a bear market, then you probably want to go towards 6000 series cards. And obviously we're currently in a bear market, because the whole majority of the world's kind of in a little bit of a recession, so causing crypto prices to go down and all that, and profitability for that reason, and others is very low on all GPUs pretty much. So unless you got like real cheap or free power. So VertHash was one. I know it does work on 3070s, but I could not get it to work for the life of me. I tried many different ways, many different things that I could try, short of putting a new operating system in. But I could find like YouTube videos of other people that had 3070s going on the same miner, same version of the miner, and it just worked for them, and it just didn't work for me. So yeah, not too sure what's going on there. Tried switching pools many times, but yeah, essentially it gets a 0 score on that. But the way my metrics work at the end, you'll see the 0 score doesn't make too much of a difference. Up next is Aeon, and yeah, 6000 series winning on efficiency, but the 3070 winning on dollar per mega hash. Kryptonite Haven, 6000 series winning on both. Zero ProgPow algorithm, 6000 series is more efficient, but 3060 better dollar per mega hash. Same with Beam, 3070 better dollar per mega hash, and 6000 series much more efficient. And again with Grin, same thing, 6000 series much more efficient, but the 3070 better in terms of dollar per mega hash. And I've said the same thing so many times, but same again, Bitcoin Gold. Alephium starts to move the trend a little bit. The cheapest card, dollar per mega hash, 6600, and then the best efficiency is the 6800 XT. Casper, so these probably these three coins are pretty much everyone's favorites at the moment: Casper, Radiate, and Nexa. So most efficient for Casper, we're looking at 6600 XT. Best dollar per mega hash is the 3070, but the 3070 is the worst for efficiency, but much better for hash rate, much better than most cards except for the 6800 XT, but then it's a lot better dollar per mega hash than the 6800 XT and the rest of the 6000 series cards. So got to keep quite a few metrics in mind when you're considering these cards. Onto Radiant, and yeah, we've got most efficient 6700 XT. Cheapest dollar per mega hash is the 3070, so pretty standard across the board, but this time the 3070 is not the least efficient, it's actually the 6600. And finally onto Nexa, so most efficient and cheapest dollar per mega hash is the 3070, so it's pretty much winning on that one, as well as the hash rate. It's the highest hash rate as well. Now on the right here, we're just going to go into, I'm just going to show all this, and we're going to pretty much talk through all this. So I've just kind of created some metrics here. They're a little bit complicated, so I have to explain it. You'll see down the bottom of, say, like this is a block, this is like one coin, all the information that I've got for one coin, and you'll see down the bottom of the mega hash, this is pretty much the maximum hash rate of the cards that I've tested. So it's taking these numbers here are taking the maximum hash rate and seeing what percentage of that the card is getting. So something that's getting 20 is like, or like about 18 would be like around about half of this, so that'd be like 50%. So that's the hash rate, that's this one here, sorry, the hash power percentage. So then we average it across the entire algorithms, like all of the algorithms, we've added it together. If I show it here, you can see kind of what it's doing, dividing this number by the maximum hash rate, and then averaging that across all the different algorithms. It's kind of complicated to understand, but essentially the 6600 XT here is getting 45% of the max hash rate. 3070 is getting 90% of the max hash rate, so two 6600 XTs equal one 3070 in terms of hash rate. So that's kind of how that works. Hopefully that was able to be followed. And then the efficiency metric. This is the one that I think is the most important, personally, especially in a bear market, or if you have not so good electricity prices. So it's taking the maximum efficiency here. So that was this one here, so 0.3901, and it's dividing the efficiency that card is getting with the maximum efficiency. So to find out what percentage of the maximum efficiency that card's getting, and then it's averaging it across all the algorithms. So the 6600 is getting 90%, 6600 XT is getting the highest at 96%, and then around 93 to 94% on the rest of the 6000 series, and down at 80% for 3070. So you can see there's a bit of differences to my last video, because I have updated a whole bunch of testing to the most recent versions of all the miners. Last time some of the testing was like different versions, and so it was kind of a bit of mix and match testing on different versions. So now it's all updated. We are seeing the 6600 XT being the most efficient card across the board. So conclusions we can determine from this is the 6600 is the most efficient 6000 series card, and the 6000 series cards are more efficient than Nvidia cards. All of them, unless you have like a CMP 170HX or like a mining specific card. I haven't put the A2000 into this, but pretty sure the A2000 is a bit less efficient than 3070 across the board when considering all the algorithms. So yeah, we can claim that AMD is more efficient than Nvidia. This is a fact. I have tested it and proven it. And I've been through like everyone else's videos. I had Red Panda Mining videos. Red Panda Mining and Red Fox Crypto, and who else? I watched so many people's videos. Minesum 10. Everyone who was doing kind of efficiency videos, everyone who was specifying more Nvidia cards, I tried all of their settings to see like which ones are the best, and then I also did my own testing method as well to find the most efficient settings to compare for the 3070. So it was a fair test. I used the same testing method, pushed it to the limits that I could to get the most efficiency out of it. And yeah, these are the results that I got. This next column up here is the second-hand price. I'm just going to assume that everyone buys cards second-hand. Obviously not everyone does, but it's kind of the only way to get a real fair price and a fair comparison on cards, because like some of these cards aren't sold anymore. So I mean, yeah, some of them were replaced by the 50, like the 6650 XT and the 6950 XT, or whatever, the 6750 XT. So you can only get some of these cards secondhand now. And also, if you're buying these for mining, you're better off buying secondhand cards anyway. So that's why I've gone with secondhand prices. And then I've just put that in to like refresh your memory on the prices, because that'll make this a little bit more relevant. So this last column is the dollar per percentage of hash rate. So basically, you can see the formula there. So the price divided by the percentage times by 100, which is a little bit confusing, because a percentage is 0.42 as a real number, so I had to make it into a whole number to make it 42. So essentially I'm dividing 300 by 42 to get the cost of 1% hash power. So the cost of 100% hash power would be times this by 100. and that will give you the cost of the highest hash rate card per algorithm. But yeah, this is kind of a metric for if you're buying cards, whereas the efficiency is more of a metric if you're looking for which of your cards is the most efficient. Like if you have a variety of cards and you're wondering like which is going to be the first you're going to turn on when profitability starts coming back. What are you going to turn on first? Because what's the most efficient? That's always going to be what you're going to turn on first. So yeah, if you're in that scenario, you're going to be turning on your 6000 series cards and getting the most efficient settings. But if you're looking at buying cards in a bull market, you're probably looking at buying the cheaper dollar per mega hash cards, which would be the 3070. And just anyone for looking for the overclock settings, you can see I'll click through them all and you can just copy whatever you like. So these are the cards here, and then these are all the overclock settings just on the right there. And it's got all the miner versions there, so you can see which version of the miner I used. Some of them have R mode enabled, but just a quick update to that R mode thing. If you're using one of the algorithms where you set the memory to 1, which does the memory tweak, so the 3 algorithms that do that are Lithium, Casper, and Radiant. And with those 3 algorithms, you need to disable R mode, otherwise you'll be slightly less efficient than you otherwise would be. So yeah, just keep that in mind, because it used to be a thing that I would do is just leave R mode enabled for everything that I could use Team Red Miner on. But now that's not actually the most efficient way to do it. So yeah, just keep that in mind and like plan accordingly. Get rid of the R mode if you are using Team Red Miner and mining one of those 3 algorithms with the memory set to 1. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got in this video. Like, we've drawn a couple conclusions. 3070 is a really good value card if you're buying them. And the 6000 series cards are really efficient, especially relative to Nvidia. So the AMD cards are more efficient than Nvidia cards. This is proven here. And the 6600 XT is the most efficient of the 6000 series cards. 6800 XT obviously is the highest hash rate card of the ones here, but that's not really much of a comparison. That's because it's obviously a different price point to all the other cards, so it makes sense that it would be higher because it's the highest tier card. But yeah, the pretty much all these cards are like a really good buy, to be honest. That's the reason that I've put these into the comparison. If I was to add like the rest of the 30 series cards, like the 3060, the 3080, and like the 6500 XT, we're probably looking at much worse numbers than these. So yeah, and if we include like previous gen cards like 5700 XT, 2060, again, they're going to be like much worse results than these and not really worth putting into this. Potentially the A2000 could be worth chucking into here, but yeah, that's about it really. I wouldn't really want to add too many more to this, but yeah, you can see all my other stats in here, all the other testing that I've done. There's a lot of testing that I've done, to be fair. Yeah, it's taken me almost a year to do all this testing. Does take quite a long time, so I hope everyone appreciates the time that I put in. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. Or you can have a look down in the description. I have a couple of donation links if you want to support the channel that way. Or you can hit the super thanks down below and make a little donation as well, which is really good for the channel, helps me out a lot. It makes it easier for me to justify spending all these hours on this. And potentially easier for me to buy future cards for testing, especially maybe some of the new 7000 series cards. It'd be really cool to get my hands on some of the lower tier ones of those, if finances allow that to happen. But yeah, that's all I got for this one, so have a great day. See ya.